Which pair of diagonal pliers are going to be best suited for your toolbox? Let's find out. We got a straight pair of J2000-59s. We have an angled pair of J2000-48s. We have a non-2000 series D228-8s here from Klein. We got the wihas with the push button. They don't have a battery, but they do have a power button. And this changes the hinge pivot to gain leverage. We're going to explore that. And then we got a standard pair of Milwaukees. Now we're going to note that we do not have any Kipex to show you.
Do you know why you probably want to skip this generation of Kipex? These are the diagonals, and we can see the point where the handles actually come to a point. If we look at the first gen Kipex here, you'll see where they're rounded. And in that meat portion of your hand where you actually go to use these, this is really comfortable, like it should be. I gotta tell you, when you get this pointy thing up in that meat of your hand right there, it's really uncomfortable, and it's also hardened to accept their lanyards and loops and tool identification. And you can see how sharp it is compared to the first gen. I had the first gen of diagonals and absolutely loved them. These are just, it's a huge miss from Kipex, and that's something I thought I'd never say. Also, you should know that these don't have that much leverage, and compared to Klein, they don't cut as good, which is also something I thought that I'd never say. And then also the grip here, this black portion. This whole time we've been using these, we really haven't been grabbing the black portion. So it's interesting that they decided to put the grips up here and not, you know, where you actually use and place your hands on diagonal cutters.
But you're going to notice something when I go to cut this wire, and be listening because you're going to hear the snap noise, which will let you know the leverage of the pliers, basically. So we're going to just give you a little cut. That's fairly, that's pretty loud. So these probably have the least amount of leverage, just in my experience from just years of experience. These don't seem to want to open. There we go. That is already a flaw. And then also we have the pivot here to where we get less open but more leverage, and we're going to hear the difference in the cut. There you go. That's leverage right there.
This is a 5/16. Should be mild steel. Oh man, that's gonna be a workout. Oh, it's gonna do it. It's gonna do it. Hang on. It's absolutely gonna cut this. I just want to make sure my fingers aren't in the way. They're pretty impressive. That's thick.
Let's look at the high leverage Kleins here. It's the bigger brothers to these. They're actually huge. So we're going to see how that cuts. We got some 10-4 MC here. 4 conductor. 5 conductor technically, because they don't count the ground. So when you say 12-2, it's 2 conductors with a ground. This is 4 hots with the ground. So it's actually 5 conductor cable. Go ahead and cut this. Different sound yet. Nice cut. That's actually not bad. Then we got the standard kind of helper grade, apprentice grade, and you can hear the difference in the cuts there. Based on the way this snaps off and shoots the cable away, you can tell these have the least amount of leverage. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate these right now for leverage, for cutting, things like that. They're good for what they are, 1000 volt. You don't need a lot of leverage, and they got a small head on them. You compare it to the Kleins and you'll be appreciative of the small head. But for everyday use and just in general use, these are going to be eliminated for that purpose. We'll leave them right there, just in sight. Next up, we're going to look at the functionality of these pliers, and we're going to just get right down to the nuts and bolts of the video. And we want to see, can we cut this large 5 conductor MC here with one hand, which is very hard to do, by the way. We're probably going to use 2 hands, but we want to hear the sound of it. Okay. That's without the high leverage mode. So if we switch to these pliers here, get a little bite on there, and then we switch it to the power mode. Now these are going to open less, but they're going to cut way easier. One hand, come on. Yeah, pretty impressive and useful, no doubt. Let's go with the large leverage Kleins here. We're going to be able to fit all those in here. I'm getting a workout from this, no doubt about it. We're going to go for on the table, one hand. Smashing my finger. I got to use two hands. Okay. Let's see here. These are the smaller, but can they do it is a question. Always take your ring off. They're slipping. We're almost through, so you can do it with these. You can do it. You can make a couple of strands. You can get it through. But I want it to go all the way through. So they can still do it if you know what you're doing. We're just looking at overall leverage. Now, the straight cut should have more leverage than the angle cut. Yeah, they already have more leverage. So let's see here. Yeah, they cut it. Okay. So these can still make the cut. Might you want an angle pair instead of a straight pair? Let's check it out. Should go without saying the angle pair is going to be able to reach into boxes easier and just get into tighter spaces. This pair is fairly large and you can see the drawbacks of the size of these already. Where these shine though is the whole head of the plier is flat to the stud and we're able to pry this box off the wall, come back, get another bite, and then pry again. So we're getting that free fulcrum with the angled pair here. The straight pair, you've only got a little portion of the head, but you can still pry if you need to. It's just not as much surface contact, and this really comes into play when you're prying staples. As an electrician, your diagonals get used the most when prying things off, staples, nails, things like that. You use them to cut receptacles, so let me show you that. Other than prying, this is the thing that I use my diagonals for the most, would be to just cut the wires directly as close as I can off of receptacles and just give a little clip there, give a little clip there, and the receptacle's free. It's quick and easy, and I don't like to reuse wire that's already been twisted like that. I just don't trust it. So usually if I'm replacing a device, I just cut the whole thing off and restrip.
Here, you'd have to smash on it first like this. Get it flat and then get it in your cutters to cut it. So the question is, does it fit in here without any help? And the answer is not really. So all that leverage is lost. I'm going to say it's more work to use these on this wire than it is your Kleins, because I think your Kleins actually open up more than these do. And if you have big hands, you can reach. So yeah, you can clearly see which one opens up more.
So in conclusion, my ultimate recommendation would be to get the smaller pair. While these are flashy and they're big and obviously they do have more leverage, the situation where we need more leverage is pretty minimal for an electrician anyway. And these are smaller, they get into tighter spaces. They can still cut the 5 number 10s in the MC cable right here. So there you go. What do you guys think in the comments below? See you guys in the next one.